Oh, hey there. I was just thinking about some of the coolest animals on Earth, or just things that the coolest animals do. Number one on my list is dogs, and it's their sense of empathy. They say that dogs are the second most empathetic animal on the planet, next to like whales and dolphins. And it's pretty cool, isn't it? The other is that their intelligence is far more advanced and capable than we ever thought, and their sense of smell is so powerful. It's actually the majority of their brain is dedicated to smell, and it's so powerful that it's like having a type of 4D vision, kind of like what dolphins have, like a sonar type thing. Next, I would have to say hyenas. Someone's trying to get in the shot here, huh? Hyenas are one of the most amazing animals ever. You know, the females have a fully developed penis. And that penis is very important because male hyenas are so rough that they'll rip the female apart during mating. So they basically sex them to death. So the females have had to evolve to grow a penis to confuse the male hyenas. And, they have a fully functional vagina still. It's tucked underneath that dangling penis. And without that, they'd die, and the species would go out of commission, and you wouldn't even know what a hyena was. And Sandra Bullock would have never been called the hyena in Murder by the Numbers. Komodo dragons are another one. I think Komodo dragons are cool, and I think the whole thing about how there was a mystery for so long that what made a Komodo dragon's saliva so dangerous was bacteria, that they were just had a teeming with bacteria in their mouth, and so when they bit something, it pretty much acted as just a toxin, and the animal that it bit would eventually drop dead. And Komodo dragon's sense of smell with its gigantic tongue is amazing, and it just gradually gets there eventually and gets what it poisoned to death. But now we know that a Komodo dragon actually has glands in its gums that are secreted when it bites down with a certain amount of pressure, and that venom is actually released, and it's like a neurotoxin. It's crazy. It's like black widow venom or something like that. But that's cool. And then my favorite of all, and this is going to sound weird, even though it's not my favorite because I don't keep them and have one and have a relationship with one, but my favorite, probably just out of sheer coolness, is ants. I think ants are just cool, man. They're like little aliens from another planet. Did you know that if an ant gets lost, which won't happen, but it has a few times, especially with ants that live in the desert and ants that live in huge rainforest areas, when storms happen and things, dust storms and then rainstorms, they get separated, and they get separated to the point they're so tough, so they can handle so much abuse, like tornadoes even. If they get thrown so far away that it's impossible for them to get the signal to know their way home, they just drop dead. They don't like they don't do that. They just go, we'll never get away home, and they're dead. That's crazy. They're like robots. So basically, from what I'm understanding from the reading that I've been doing, is that an ant is basically, if I'm the queen ant, this is my hand, and I'm capable of letting each of these digits off of my hand break away and go off and do things for me. Go turn the light out in the bathroom. Click, and the light goes out. You know, it'd be cool if I left that light on, and then, anyway. You get what I'm understanding and what I'm trying to get you to understand, which is that ants are cool, man. Ants are really, really cool. They're the only, they will be here after nuclear bombs, even after roaches. Some entomologists and anthropologists and other scholars seem to believe that it's going to be the roach that's here, no matter what we do to the planet. I'm actually convinced it'll be ants. One, they live underground and they can make their own food. So there are a lot of ant species that have already evolved into creating fungus. They work with aphids and things like that, or they create their own from their waste, and their own waste is harvested and then turns into a fungus or a mold or anything else like that, or encourages mushrooms and things, all kinds of cool stuff. and then they'll feed off of that, and they just continue their cycle. So they would be doing that under the ground, under the earth, while the earth rotted away and died from nuclear war, maybe with countries that use nuclear weapons, and suffer from small pecker syndrome. But all I'm trying to say is there's some cool animals out there. There really are. So think about some cool animals yourself, and maybe leave them in the comments, and I'll make a cool animals part 2, and I'll talk about your cool animal. Let's see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.